that if we do not have a carbon tax by the 1st of June next year, Australia would go up in smoke. Can I tell you this? The only thing that has gone up in smoke so far has been the Prime Minister's credibility, because she has deceived the Australian people. She told the Australian people, as that wonderful sign down there says, there will be no carbon tax under the government I lead. And in fact that is, and I'll disagree with the others who say that she's a liar, that is in fact a true statement, because she no longer leads this government. It is Senator Bob Brown that leads this government. Out of this current Parliament, 2 members in the House of Representatives were elected supporting a carbon tax. In the Senate, 5. And the Australian people are quite right, they are quite entitled to ask, how is it the 2 House of Reps members and 5 senators can somehow overturn the will of those 140 plus parliamentarians that were specifically elected on a policy of no carbon tax? That is the question that the Labor Party in particular cannot answer. Ladies and gentlemen, is there any Australian that genuinely believes that if 5 days before the election Ms Gillard would have said, under a government I lead, there will be a carbon tax, that she would be the Prime Minister of this country today? So there is no doubt that she gained office on a lie, on deceiving the Australian people. Indeed.
Put on a goal cue!
Indeed, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, that if this carbon tax is implemented, our household budgets will go up in smoke. We know that our jobs will go up in smoke. We know our small businesses will go up in smoke. We know that our manufacturing sector will go up in smoke. We know that our mining sector will go up in smoke. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are very many good and decent Australians and scientists who are sceptics in this debate, who are agnostics in this debate, and who are believers in this debate. And can I say, all 3 categories are welcome here today. You know why? Yes! Because the High Priestess of climate change herself, the former climate change minister, Senator Penny Wong, said the High Priestess of climate change, Senator Penny Wong herself, said that a carbon tax would be of no benefit to the environment when she was still championing the carbon pollution reduction scheme. So we don't have to rely on any of us extremists or anybody else. We can rely on Senator Penny Wong, Labor's former climate change minister, to inform us that a carbon tax will not do anything for the environment. And if you are a believer or an agnostic, can I simply say that a carbon tax will in fact have a perverse, and I stress this, a perverse environmental outcome. Because I can bet you that the factory owners in Brazil, Russia, India and China would be very disappointed with your appearance here today. Because they are cheering on this green Labor madness of a carbon tax, looking for the opportunity to take over when our Australian products are priced out of the world market. Although I'm speaking here in the national capital, you will forgive me if I briefly go to my home state of Tasmania, where we have a zinc works. And for 1 tonne of zinc, we produce about 2 tonnes of CO2. In China, that same tonne of zinc is produced with 6 tonnes of CO2 going into the atmosphere. Do you honestly believe that if we price the zinc works in my home state of Tasmania out of business, that the world community will give up using zinc? No, they will simply buy it from those countries such as Brazil, Russia, India and China that do not have the sort of pollution controls that we do. And so that is why I say this fight against this carbon tax should in fact be a unifying feature within the Australian community. Skeptic, agnostic, believer, no matter how you approach this topic, this carbon tax, with Australia acting alone, is absolute lunacy. My friends, we all know that our budgets, household budgets, will go up in smoke. We know our jobs will go up in smoke. We'll know our manufacturing sector will go up in smoke. One thing that I learned as a kid was that where there's smoke, there's a fire. So ladies and gentlemen, let's all join together in putting out this fire to ensure that this carbon tax does not become a reality. And what better place for us to start than over the border in New South Wales on Saturday by making sure let's make sure that this Saturday we start putting out that fire by getting rid of the Greens and the Country Independent and the Labor Party that has signed up to this madness. And from New South Wales, we will move back to Canberra and put this fire out with your help. Thanks for your support.
We started in Victoria!
Thank you so much, Eric, from Tasmania, the biggest little state in the country. That's where I'm retiring, down to Tassie. Someone said something about there's an accusation, if not a criticism, made of us earlier today, that we are extremists. Yeah. You're not an extremist. I'll explain a little later what I actually mean by that. But if I think if what they mean by that is what I think they mean by that, yes indeed, I'm an extremist and I won't get out of their face until we right this great wrong. Sophie Mirabella is the member for Indi. Indi. Yeah, I should remember Indi. I was run out of Indi once. So, bit of housekeeping, we need a doctor. Is there a doctor? I've waited all my life to say this. Is there a doctor in the house? Quite seriously, brothers and sisters, we need a doctor. Could you make your way up here, please? Possibly that's not the best place for her to be, surrounded by, no, maybe with assistance. Lack of oxygen, I would imagine, is only contributing to the problem. Is there a doctor, please?
One's coming up.
She's 91. Have a look at her commitment. She's 91 years old and she wouldn't have missed this for Clips. Doctor in the house, please. Raise your hand.
I don't think she's an extremist.
Oh, here we go. See, Juliar is good for something. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. The member for Indi.
Thank you very much.
Yeah!
Friends, thank you for giving a damn enough, for believing enough still in our democracy, believing that we can stop this tax that will destroy our economy, that will alter the Australian landscape forever. Thank you for making it here today, and do not give up until we have defeated it. It's not good enough to wait until the next election, because we will reverse it if we win, but think of the damage, think of the tens of the thousands of jobs lost. We must maintain the campaign to stop this tax being introduced in the first place, because it's only about one thing. It's about one job. It's about Juliar saving her job. The the job she has fought for, has stabbed for, has crawled for, has lied for, and I don't care how many tens of thousands of Australian jobs will be sacrificed to go offshore just to save her one job. It's not good enough for her and the Labor Party to call names and to call everyone skeptics and to try and shut us up. Now they're trying to intimidate businesses that are saying, we're going to go bankrupt, we're going to go offshore and Australian jobs will be lost. They think we're all stupid. They think they can perpetuate the con forever and a day. They underestimate the common sense and intelligence of the Australian people. They will continue to do that because Juliar has a choice. She has a choice to continue driving that train of destruction, or she has a choice of trying to redeem herself in some small way by admitting that it is a con, that she was wrong, and go back to the Australian people and let them decide. Let them I don't want this nation to be a nation that is just a quarry and just full of service providers. I want this country to be able to use its innovation to make things like we always have, like we do now, and like what I want us to do into the future. We've got hard-working businesses, small, medium, large-sized businesses that are competing in a tough world environment, and they've told me, as I travel from one end of the country to the other, if this carbon tax gets introduced, we'll either close up shop or go offshore. That is the truth, that is the reality, and Miss Gillard, instead of listening to Bob Brown, should listen to real people who run businesses. Real people who've sacrificed to set up businesses and to employ Australians, who are the backbone of who we are as a nation. Never let any politician tell you that what you believe is not valid. Never let any